I have clicked the record button. Yo, what up? Everybody at home, everybody over on YouTube. I have with me a special guest, Barrett Bryant of the playtest / design team. We record top 8s, so if this is your first UniVersus video with me, because of critical stuff, go check those out. But we are going to be doing a bit of a full set review for the Heroes of Exandria set that is coming out here relatively soon. March 7th. Isn't that correct? I don't have a yeah, March 7th. You can find your local game stores and all that jazz. We've done a couple of previews here on the channel, but this is going to be literally, we are doing 211 cards. We are talking about them. We were doing something before this, and Barrett was like, hey, do you want me on for the review? And I was like, that'd be very, very fun. So Barrett, thanks for being on, man. It's very cool to have you.
Heck yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited. I'm not gonna ramble about all the I've known these cards for a long time, obviously, but I'm more excited about genuinely your opinions, what chat thinks of these cards, how successful they think they're going to be in the format, and yeah, I can give a little bit of insight on how I also agree and or disagree with those ideas.
Yeah, and so if you're in Twitch chat, I'm going to be putting up a small poll on every card of do you like the card, yes, no, or meh. Please feel free to 1, 2, and 3 in chat. Give your opinions and thoughts on the cards, as I know that UVS employees do watch these videos and see the feedback here of how cool or rad or awesome they are. So here's the goal of the videos. I'm going to be splitting this up into a ton of different videos, and they're all going to have the same intro. We're going to run through all of the Air, Chaos, Earth, Fire, Life, Order, Void, Water attuned cards. From there, we're going to go to the Infinity / multi-symboled cards. From there, we're going to do all of the ultra rares and then all of the secret rares. And so with that, let's get rocking. Fire attuned. Moving on to, I forgot to do a little thing for life. Life attuned. 4/3, 2 high block, 3 high for 5 false. Visage. I love the snap. It's a spell response. After you gain health, this attack gets +1 speed, +1 damage. Healer blitz, gain 2 health. Only playable if your character is a healer. I've already talked about all these cards. You have anything you want to say about these?
I know people's the low hanging fruit here is is Ymir, obviously. I think of this card actually, and I think of Divana Tendi stacks. I think this card's going to be a lot better for Divana Tendi than it will be Ymir.
As she is a healer.
Yeah, as she is a healer, which is nice because it's going to trigger even more. And she gets the benefit for gaining life. So I like this a lot more in Divana Tendi. Ymir can play this, but I just don't think it fits the bill for what that deck's already doing. It only scales based off of how many immortals you've got in your stage, which is fine, I guess.
I mean, it's immortal best buddy, right?
Best buddies, yeah, brief respite, sure.
Yeah.
Like, it's
good in Pike.
Yeah,
it's okay in Pike.
Yeah, I just don't know how much it's gonna push that edge, right?
Up next, we've got Hammer Launcher, 4/3, 1 mid for 4 throw. Blitz, if you're at max health, this attack gets +2 damage. I think a 4 diff, 1 mid for 6 throw on turn 2 is dope. I think that is decent enough. I think it asks an interesting question of how do I stay at full health, and the answer is you just gain a bunch of life back. Sure. I think this card is a very cool, not even necessarily build around, but like a card that I want to include in order to have an interesting game plan.
I think this card's not good, but yeah, that's fine.
Good is irrelevant when it comes to sure. Is this card neat? And I think it is neat. Yeah.
I think there's quite a few life throws that are probably better than this. I specifically think of Jawjammer, and although sure. Jawjammer is doing the opposites of helping your stage, I don't know, this card sure doesn't do 8.
No.
I also have the death symbol, so.
Up next, we've got Help or Harm, another piece of incredible art. 4/3, 4 mid for 4, 0 mid block, ally spell. Blitz, your rival commits 1 foundation. If they cannot, they lose 2 health. Period. This can kill them. I cannot wait to kill somebody with this card. And then response, after you block with this card, a player of your choice gains 2 health. Period. If you are at maximum health, ready 1 foundation that has not been ready this combat phase. I want to play this in Jester Prankster Priestess so bad. Spend a momentum, go pick up a 0 mid block that says it gain 2 health when you block with it. Ready a foundation is nuts. So good in my character.
Sometimes both, but not always. But
Yeah. Always gain 2, sometimes re-ready the foundation that I may be committed in order to get my momentum. Ugh, so
I
strong.
agree. The fact this has ally as well means there's direct synergy with other life cards, as we will get to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this card is a very good utility 4-diff attack. At like worst is just a stun 1 move, which is fine, right?
Yeah. Up next, we've
Hey,
got
look.
Mighty Gathering, 4/3, 4 low for 2 with a 2 low block. Blitz. This deck is +2 damage for each ally in your card pool, period. The weirdest art in the set, and that's saying something, because the art on this in this set is all over the place.
What do you mean? It makes sense. It's a Mighty Gathering because they're the Mighty Nine.
No. I meant the art style. This art style
sure,
is like crazy.
I'll make sure to tell
Hugo.
Genius personally that you don't like his art style.
Please
Anyway,
get him on a call.
I think this very much like the Star Trek Lower Decks tech one that does a similar thing is a deck build around. It doesn't have the extra fluff of like extra abilities on it, but it is a low attack, it has a low block, it has the ally keyword, so it chains itself. And so it is at worst a 4 low for 4. That just scales infinitely with however many allies you can put it. It does not say ally attacks. Keep that in mind, as there are other life cards that we will show that I think have direct synergy with this. This is a build around.
Yeah.
This is a way to kill people. Ally attacks are good. There are quite a few good ones. And the way that the World of Attune works, there's a lot of different combinations that work with this card. And Kurama is a character.
Kurama is a character.
Kurama
is a character, and that's all we have to say about that. Peaceful Rebuke, hilarious art. Arms out, arms out wide. Slowly walking towards these scary people. 4/3, 4 low for 4, 1 low block. Blitz. If you can heal this turn, it gets 2 speed. Your card's fine.
It's fine. It sure is not Midst of Despair, but it sure looks like Midst of Despair.
Yeah, it's a 6 low for 4 most of the time. So like, if you can figure out how to put stats on it, Ymir says that this is like an 8 low for whatever you want it to be, which is very scary. If Peaceful Rebuke is like the 3rd or 4th card that you play, it is not so Peaceful Rebuke. It's very Violent Rebuke, as an 8 low for 13 on a 4 diff is headed your way.
It is. That's my thing. I think with most of these, including the first one, the false visage that we talked about, it's really good if they're like, these cards are very good if you've already at the point of Ymir of having gained 4 or 5 health. But when you start with them, they're not the greatest.
Totally, 100%. Yeah, you got to have like a best buddies in play and have taken damage. Like it certainly is asking you to hit a couple check boxes in order to make this card do what it is that you want.
I don't like
to
this
do.
one in Divana either. Like,
yeah,
Divana doesn't need help with speed. Divana needs help with damage. So
right. Next we've got Revive Ally, 5/3, 4 low for 5, 1 high block. Blitz. Add 1 party backup with pretty difficult 0 less from discard out of your hand. Important, it does say party. It does not just say backup, so you can't go grab some weird titans. Love the art. Love the ability on the art. I think it's very thematic. If you are backup synergistic, I think this card is totally fine. But it is a 5 diff, and there's probably just like a better, who knows, like a better ultra rare that will do the same idea. Question mark. Maybe just like put them right near your stage instead of slowly putting them in your hand.
I think that's my biggest takeaway is that, like, obviously there's an ultra rare I think that does this, but better. The synergistic of like having one in your hand is fine. Also, the very, very good ones are the ones that are not 3 diffs, they're 4 diffs. So like, just miss, and it's just kind of whatever.
Yeah. Spirit Weapon Whirl, 5/3, 5 high for 5, 2 mid block charge weapon spell. Blitz. If you have a spell or weapon attack in your discard pile, clear 1 other attack in your card pool and add an attack from your discard pile to your card pool in any position, period. I think that this has a lot of words for if you found the good ones, it's very, very good. It's very, very good. I think being able to, if you have a spell or weapon in your discard pile, clear a different attack from your card pool, put something like a Titan armbar, which is whatever weapon you want in any position. It's very good for Kima. There's a lot of cool Kima synergies that you can do here of like putting things where you want to. As this almost feels like it has to be a 4 of in that character in order to,
Yeah.
cycle and loop things how you want. Because it does say, I guess some of Kima's stuff flips or whatever, but we actively want there to be 7 or 8 difficulty moves previously to then pull to go backwards. It's neat. I think it's mandatory in some characters and kind of whatever in others.
Yeah, I think this card has some really good random synergies with certain things. I don't know if those synergies are strong enough to warrant even just playing this card. I think of even like Aerial Goblin Bolt, shoving that into your card pool on demand is really good if you just, sack off a spell or weapon you played before this. It asks to be played as a 6-diff, which is a miss for me. And I
No.
think...
It says you have a spell or weapon in your
discard
discard
my bad.
pile. Clear
But you
another
need
card in your
something-
card pool.
Yeah, but you need
And
something in your card.
Well, you don't have to. I don't think you have to have. I don't think you have to clear. Clear another attack in your card pool and add 1 card from discard pile to your card pool in any position.
I feel like for the fact of fulfilling as much as possible, clear 1 other attack in your card pool means that if you have one, you have to.
Correct. Yeah.
But yeah, if you don't have one, okay.
You
I
don't.
understand.
Yeah. So you can play this on a 5
Okay.
and then just like slam one
Sure.
in, and you're off to the races.
Yeah. So like
Yeah.
for me, like the biggest ones are like Aerial Goblin Bolt. There are some other card pool synergy stuff from like Kima's kit. I think Ford also has something, right? Like +1 to your opponent's block mods. There's some synergies. I don't know if it's worth playing this card. It's kind of a miss.
I just like if you somehow have armbar in your pool, so like moves get +2 damage, you just like clear the armbar and put the armbar back and another 2 damage just on this one. I just think it's funny.
Oh, true. Yeah, that is funny.
Like,
I like that.
He's gone. He's back. A Night's Rest. 2/5, 2 mid block. Enhance commit. Stack is -2 speed. Enhance once per turn tenacious. Commit 1 backup. Ready this foundation. If your backup synergistic, I guess this is okay. But I guess another 2/5 commit for -2 speed. So I don't know why it's not a 1/5 that does this same idea. It easily could have been a 1/5 and probably would have been fine.
I think it's because of that bottom ability, right? I think this is really, really good if you're playing a deck that has a bunch of offensive backups.
Sure.
So if you don't end up using them, you have these for defense, and it's it's -4 speed across the turn, right?
Yeah.
We just have to see if that's going to be like a real deck archetype, right? Of like trying to play as many of these tiny backups into your stage for things like Harness on Death or Death Rattle, right? Or if you're already playing them in your deck, right? Other than that, I don't think this sees much play.
Battle Priest. Again, this is Pike. Where's her right here? 2/5, 3 low block, deflect 2, enhance commit. If you've gained health this turn, this deck gets +1 speed, +2 damage. I like the deflect 2. I like the commit for a little extra stats. But in this economy, I think committing a foundation for stats is a little hard to come by. So I like the fact that it has the extra ability of deflect. I think that's a thing that pumps this card up and makes me really think about putting it inside of my deck, truthfully. Of like, it has both abilities of, oh, while it's in my hand, it's like, it's a block and deflect. And once I put it on the stage, it's a little extra. I think I'm totally down for it.
I agree. I think, yeah. Like the immediate synergies I see are like in that kind of like recoup time, gaining as much life as you want. This is a really cool foundation for you to commit before you blow it up for those effects.
True.
As long as you've already gained a life to begin with, which in those decks you probably already have.
Probably. Next, Curious Tea Preparation. Insane Art. Holy cow. Will Kirkby. Insane, my guy. 3/5, 1 mid block. Enhance commit. Build 1 party backup with printed difficulty 3 or less from your card pool. Period. Enhance tenacious remove. This deck is -1 speed for each backup in your stage. Period. Again, another incredible Beast Titan card. With the tenacious remove minus the speed. Like if they're not attacking your backups or attacking you, it's like sometimes this is just tenacious remove -7 speed. Go for the block.
Yeah. The ceiling is really, really high. The floor is probably not enough for me as a 3-div, but the 1 mid block maybe changes my mind. It just depends. Again, how good the archetype is of people trying to put a bunch of backups in their deck, and this is a scaling defensive piece, and I think that's fine.
And also is asking for the printed 3 or less from your card pool, right? So you gotta like build it first.
If you want to sneak one down mid-turn. But like that
the big
affects
thing
to
is
me like
you block with it. I block with the backup, and then I build it
oh,
with
that's
the
true.
Curious.
Yeah,
like
because you
that's
already
where
have this
it's really strong.
offensively on Chaos.
Yes. I think blocking with your backup and then building it is very dope. Yeah. Especially on Caduceus that draws cards, right? So like we're gonna draw into some backups and then prep them down. We'll move on. Healing spell, 2/5/3 mid block spell. Enhance commit. A player of your choice gains 2 health, or a backup of your choice gains 2 stamina. Very cute art. I think this art is super super cute. I love her. I love the notebook. This card's fine. It's just like this card is the definition of fine. It's fine. It's not gonna see any play.
Yeah.
I think it's totally chill.
Yeah, we have enough Stack of Foundation Game 1 life, and I think sadly that is better than this.
Yes.
Because those are on 1 diffs, and even though it's sacrifice a foundation instead of just committing this sideways, you can blow up committed things that we've already used to pass checks. This one only works if you keep it ready.
Yeah.
And that matters.
Illuminating spell, 1/5/3 low block. Enhance commit. This attack gets -2 speed. If your rival is attacking a backup, it gets -1 damage. Who cares?
Yeah. I think -1 damage is too little for this to matter.
Correct. I agree fully. Yeah.
And it's just another 1/5 that commits for -2 speed at minimum.
Yeah, this is crazy. It feels like your rival's attacking backup gets -3 damage. I think I'd actually be like super in, because like I'm getting rid of a minus speed piece that I can't utilize that's defending me to protect this backup.
Yeah.
Right? Like
I think even if it was -2, it's probably enough to see play if you have meaningful backups to protect.
Yeah. Especially with when we'll get there, Caduceus like gaining the health back. I just think -1, like you said, it's just not it.
I just think we can do better. I think even in protecting them by just playing real DR except for this, then just playing the recoup time package is doing better than this to save your backups, because you can at least get minus damage.
Jaunty Trickster. I think this card art is very weird. I like the style that the Jesters are in. Crazy. It's a white background. That's insane. 2/5/3. Like there could have been like a bunch of flowers and rainbows and shit in the background. Just like put a background on it. 2/5/3 high block. Response flip. After you play a non-attack card, that card does not count as progressive difficulty this turn. Period. I don't know what non-attack card we are playing. It is very, very cool. I think this card being able to beat Breaker as you weave in foundations is very dope. I think being able to block with non-attack cards and make them not count as progressive is very dope. But I don't know what like offensively, like synergistically I am looking to play. I mean, it's obviously these actions that we've had, right? Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think City Rampage is the low bearing fruit here, buddy.
Yeah, City Rampage is great. Yeah.
City Rampage, not counting towards progressive, says +3 to all your checks to play, right? So you need a life City Rampage character. I'm sure you could find one, and I think that's the bottom of the barrel. I think the reason why this card is so good is that it works when you block with something. It works on your turn. We just saw an attack that scales for having allies in your card pool. There are ally assets, foundations, non-attack backups that you're allowed to build in the middle of your turn that scale and give damage to your attack cards.
Yeah.
And they build at the end of the turn because you played this foundation. I don't see how this card doesn't get you value in any sense. This alone says that like blocking is really good.
Yeah.
Like you can block with it. Like bare minimum, as long as you're not blocking with attack cards. So it's just like, I think there's a lot you can do. Again, the City Rampage is probably the biggest deal. And even if you don't have this on board, you're still playing a City Rampage deck, which means your offense is probably still pretty fine. And when you do find them together, you actually probably can't fail your turn. Like at all.
Yeah. Fair.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Super fair. Night on the Town. 2/5/2 mid block. Enhance commit a backup with difficulty 3 or less. This deck is +X damage. X equals the difficulty of the committed backup. Period. It's just like utilizing your backups in a different way. And this also doesn't commit itself. It just commits the backup. So like on every attack, you can use Knight on the Town just to commit some backups in order to sling some bonus damage.
It's turn your defensive backups into offensive pieces. The question is, what do those defensive backups look like?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think worst case scenario, it turns your shifted cards because they don't have printed difficulties on them, which means I know then they do nothing.
They
Never
gotta
mind.
be backups.
Then they don't do anything. Wait, what?
Oh yeah, and they shift and they've got
They're
0.
backups. They just don't have any difficulties, so
Yeah.
they give nothing. So yeah, never mind. Yeah, I don't know. The fact that we saw that death card earlier in a previous video that says sack backups for 3 damage, those work on any backups. I feel like that's just stronger synergy than stuff like this. And a lot of the characters and stuff that care about having backups also have death on them, not just life. So that's probably just a better one. I don't know.
Tough. Persuasive Talent. This card is almost so cool. 1/4/2 high block. Response. After you play this card, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a backup, you may add it to your hand. I just wish that it was like after you play response in the stage, after you play a card, hit the top card. So like you can like stack your deck and like make it happen. I think it's
repeatable. You're crazy.
No. Response flip or whatever, right? Like have some other real cost. This card just like you have to roll it off the top and like pray that it's a backup.
Sure.
Like it's
I
just
think it's sideways of Father's Sin.
It isn't, because it's way easier to. So Father's Sin wants you to put cards in the discard pile, not draw the card. Like that, the draw the card is actually a bonus on a Father's Sin, not the.
I know
not the main point.
It's symbol synergy.
Right?
So the idea here is this one likes backups. This one is a way to generate a backup either defensively or offensively. The other one is meant to be a mill piece, and I get that that's why the card sees play.
I guess you are allowed to block with it and potentially see what your next block is. But like if I'm blocking with this thing and I want to see what my next block is, I just don't want there to be a backup. I guess you may add it to your hand. Sure, I guess.
Worst case scenario, this is a 1/4 version of Foresight in not Foresight symbols. I think that's fine, man. I think this card, bare minimum, is fine.
Yeah.
Top deck knowledge is really good.
It is very good. Not when I'm building, though. Asterisks. I mean, there's a
yes, it is. That's what Foresight's for.
Foresight's a 0/5. You're crazy. This is a 1/4.
So when I play this on a 4 or whatever on my build turn, it tells me if I have another 5 on top of my deck to play another 1 diff, or I don't.
Fair enough.
Just like how Foresight does when you go to play another 0 diff after Foresight.
Powering the Blightstaff. 1/5/3 high block. It's a spell. Enhance if you're at max health. Your attack gets +1 damage. I think this one, again, is very good. As just a common spammable 1/5, I want to be at max health. I ask the question, this answers. This gives me a payoff for playing a mini game with myself. I want to stay at max health, so my move gets stats. I think it's dope.
Yeah, I think it's quite hard to do this in characters not named Divana Tendi or Ymir though. Maximum health is a.
I think Caduceus can easily do it. That guy gains 4 or something by himself.
I just think that there's a lot of aggressive decks in the format, and being at max health asks you to play absolutely perfectly at any point in the game, not just on turn 2, but like I think that's really hard to do. I think people will try this at the beginning, and then they'll constantly get bopped for 13 or 15, and they can't gain that much life in 1 turn, so they'll cut this because it doesn't actually do much.
Yeah, this guy be having like a data lock or something on it would be kind of neat, like some other unlockable ability, but I get it.